Mrs. Freeman has been telling me that you guys have been working on being detectives. Is that right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about drawing conclusions, can I get a quiet hand that wants to tell me what you think that even means? Drawing conclusions. Yeah, Mason.
Kind of like guessing about something.
Taking a guess about something. What else? Another quiet hand, Ainsley. Thank you. You're deciding. Hey Brian, what did Ainsley just say? You gotta be listening, okay? Keep those quiet ears. That's something a detective does. Ainsley, can you say that nice and loud for me?
A detective tries to figure out what the problem is about.
A detective tries to figure out what the problem is about. Someone else. What else does a detective do? Addison
It tries to figure out mysteries.
tries to figure out mysteries. What else? Kimmy?
A detective uses small clues to try to figure out what's happening.
Uses small clues to try to figure out what's happening. Great. Can I get two more? Brian.
They have something to. It's a light where they can find people's prints on them. Then they
Talking about specific things. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Kind of like Sherlock Holmes finding fingerprints on a door or something. And Haley, last one.
They solve problems.
They solve problems. Well, I came to you guys today because I have a problem that needs solved. Can you guys think you can help me with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I live, 20 minutes away in Bloomington, and everyone's been moving out of their houses because most college students, once college ends, they go home for the summer, they go to a summer job. So my street is like empty, okay? But I woke up this morning, and get this, I find this bag on my doorstep, okay? I don't really know why. Don't really know what's in it, but it's just a lot of little small bags of trash. And so I need some help figuring out who dropped it off, like why is it there? I literally have no idea. Do you guys think you can help me with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think,
Oh.
oh, Michael, hold on. I think there should be enough bags for every table to have one, so I'm going to put a bag on every table. Don't open it yet, okay, when you get your bag, but I do want you to get out your whiteboard and a dry erase marker. And we're ready with the quiet time in 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you. Okay, I passed out a little detective badge for y'all. This is just for your own personal keepsake. You can write your name on that because, I know you guys are awesome detectives, so just keep that on your desk. I asked you to get your whiteboards out because when I say go, we're going to open these bags up. We're not going to throw things on the floor. And you're going to use a piece of paper? Good idea. Okay, thank you. As we go through the stuff, don't throw it on the floor. Try to keep everything on your table. But I do want you to pass the stuff around and try to write on your whiteboard a list of what is in the bag. What's going on? We're trying to figure out who dropped the trash on Mr. Duffy's front porch, okay? So, take something out, pass it along. Not everyone at once, but you guys may begin, okay? Writing a list on your whiteboards. stuff in there that could get all over the floor. Try not to spill it, okay? What do you guys find? You can't take it, no, but do you know what else is in there? Ask your partners. Make sure you guys pass the stuff around, okay? Ew, Dane, is that your diaper? One, two, three, eyes on me. Okay, just real quick. Real quick, I know this is really silly. As you take stuff out, you're writing a list, and also I want you to start thinking, like, who dropped this, or what type of person, or family, or, like, company dropped this on the doorstep, okay? We're trying to be detectives. Keep working, okay? You've only found shaving cream? What is it now? Pass it on, okay? What do you guys think, guys? Who do you think dropped this off?
I have no idea.
No idea?
What?
Got about 1 more minute. Looks like. I say bees, he says buzz. Bees. Bees. Can you guys please put your cap on your marker? You can keep it on your desk, but just put your pen down. We're going to stop writing for a second. Okay. I need some help. Who thinks they have an idea? Sheila?
Mom, dad, and child.
A mom, dad, and a child?
Oh.
Why? Do you agree with him, Owen? No? Why don't you agree?
I don't agree because there's like, because he didn't say like dog food. I think he's like,
There would be a dog.
oh man.
Yeah, definitely a dog.
Owen, hey, Owen is talking right now. Let's give him the floor.
I think he's an artist and his mom likes music and he needs to get some good food.
Why do you think he likes music?
His mom does.
Why do you
I mean,
Who's
wife
he?
does. And they must have a baby.
What evidence did you find to make you think that he likes music?
Her wife. This.
Everyone see? Music poster. There's a
Well,
clue.
it's One Direction. No fair.
Please keep your bags on. Please keep stuff down. So we have music.
Someone hold up the diaper at this table.
And she. And it.
Someone hold up.
What is is another clue we have.
There's a cough drop. So it must be. Did I tell you?
Give me 5. Give me 5. I know this is really silly, okay, but we need to stay with it. Haley's going to give another clue. Here we go.
I found pens, pages, singers, cat food, sponges, diaper, dirty diaper. Yeah.
So,
That was dirty. And it.
did a lot of people find the same things?
Yeah.
What? Someone give me a quiet hand. What type of
And shaving cream.
and shaving cream? What type of person? Raise your hand. What type of person do you think dropped this off, or like who do you think was using this trash?
A mad person, so they missed it.
Did you raise your hand? Eliza,
A family with a dog.
why do they have a dog? How do you know?
Because they have dog food or cat food, and the shaving cream is a boy shaving cream, so it must be a dad.
Because dad
And
in the
this
family.
must be a for a kid and the crayon pot. And also the sponge brush could be for the mom and the baby diaper. The dirty ones could be a baby, and the YMCA thing could be for the whole thing.
We got a little Sherlock Holmes over here. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with most of what Eliza says. It might be a family.
I said the exact same thing.
Eli said the same thing earlier. This table is on it. Give me a if you don't really agree. And you know what? That is okay, because why is that okay? Why is it okay to have different opinions on this?
Because we don't
Raise your hand. Addison.
It's because we're detectives.
We're detectives. Did the bag say this is from a family?
No.
No. We just used clues. We didn't know for sure. Right? Kimmy?
I think this is from the mom because this looks like it will be a pad that comes from makeup.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Like what I put mine in the
Good idea. One more comment. Looking for one more from. Yes. We'll have a chance to pass it around real quick. Damien, last thing.
The man might be a college student, but I've never really seen a girl.
Yes.
Do you have Brian Jackson?
Brian is right here.
Okay, do you have any other students that, moved in during the course of the year that you're aware of?
I don't think so. Everyone else?
But Ellie's not.
Ellie. is not here right now,
Okay.
so, Yeah.
All right, I see you put your test, I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Everybody else, 3 steps, okay? 3 steps. You're gonna put everything back in your trash bag. Oh.
Can I keep this?
You're gonna start your steps when I say go. Do not move yet. You're gonna put everything back in your trash bag. You're gonna clear your whiteboards. Put your whiteboards and markers in your desk and just sit at a desk with a thumb, okay? You may go. Now, you cannot keep it.
My dad would
If you're ready to do the power, just sit there. Put everything back in your trash bag. And if you have a thumb in the air, I think that should mean your voice is off and you're ready to move on. Betty, come on. Waiting on you, buddy. Okay. Why did we do that? What, Haley?
Because it was a mystery.
Because it was a mystery. How can we use what we learned maybe right there or yesterday? How can we use our detective skills when we're reading a book? Raise your hand and tell me. How can we use our detective skills when we read a book? Some of that I haven't heard on yet today. Graham, what do you think?
picture them in our minds.
We can picture them in our minds. What else? Jason? Predictions. Good. What else? Somebody else I haven't heard on. Ashley, any ideas? Nothing? No? Kimmy, did you have an idea?
Yeah. You could use what you read put it where you understand it.
But it's where you understand it. Okay. One more, Haley.
Read the pictures.
The pictures. Why do the pictures help? Yeah?
Because they have clues in them.
They have clues in the pictures? If I gave you guys the bag of trash, but only let you, if I had a blindfold on, I'd only let you feel inside, do you think you'd come to the same conclusion?
Yeah.
Why, Eli?
Because if you've already seen it and felt it, then if you felt
But I haven't seen it yet. If you hadn't seen inside, and you couldn't see it, you could only feel it, would you come to the same conclusion?
probably because you would feel it, and then you would think in your mind, hey, this feels like a dirty diaper.
Okay, some things are pretty recognizable. What if I reached in my bag? You guys know I've seen this, but what if I hadn't seen it and I reached in, my eyes were closed, and I pulled this out? I think it's a piece of paper, but do I know it's about music?
No.
No, because I can't see it. Oh, now I see that it's like a band, Ariana Grande. Do I look like her?
No.
But, so I really like what you said, Haley. Did you guys catch that? That was a really good point. The pictures, you want to say it again? What do the pictures help with?
The pictures help with, because they have clues inside.
Pictures.
Because it's such a picture and you can see it.
The pictures have clues inside. Okay, I have another detective challenge for you. Before we do that, I just want to read one thing together, and let's see. Who's my... Eliza, you've been reading like a champ recently. Can you read this for us, just so we can all... Authors
don't always explain everything that happens in the story. In the text. Readers can use clues to figure out what is not said.
What does that mean? Readers can use clues to figure out what is not said. Someone other than Haley. She's been Reese.
Like, you can figure out what hasn't happened. Well, you can figure out what happened, but, like, you can figure out when it happened, you can figure out kind of how it's going to happen next.
I think we'll talk about this more in a little bit. I have a story I want to read to you guys. And here's what's going to happen during the story. You're just going to stay at your desk. Okay. You're going to turn that piece of paper I gave you over on the other side. I want you to get out a pencil. Don't do anything yet. And I'm just going to read this story. And while I read, so this is a story about, it's called Two Bad Ants. Two Bad Ants. And as I read, I don't want you to talk to your neighbor. I don't want you to be messing with anything. I just want you to draw. Okay? You can draw or you can write or scribble or whatever, but I want you to think about either what these ants are doing, where the ants are. That's the biggest thing we can think about. But as I'm reading these descriptive words, try to draw what I'm saying. Try to draw a picture, like Haley talked about, to help us be a detective to figure out where the ants are. I'm not going to tell you where they are. We're going to be a detective and figure out where the ants are. Raise your hand if you have a question about what I just said. Nobody? Okay, here we go. Two bad ants. You ready, Brian? The the news traveled swiftly through the tunnels of the ant world. A scout returned with a remarkable discovery. A beautiful, sparkling crystal. When the scout presented the crystal to the ant queen, she took a small bite and quickly ate the entire thing. She deemed it the most delicious food she had ever tasted. It's like a crystal was a big, juicy hamburger or something like that. Maybe a donut. Nothing could ever make her happier to have more and more crystals. She wanted more, and the ants understood. They were eager to gather more crystals because the queen was the mother of them all. Her happiness made the whole ant nest a happy place. It was late in the day when they departed. Long shadows stretched over the entrance of the ant kingdom. One by one, the insects climbed out, following the scout, who had made it clear that there were many more crystals where the first one was found. But the journey was long, and the journey was dangerous. They marched into the woods that surrounded their underground home. Dusk turned to twilight, twilight to night. The path they followed twisted and turned, every bend leading them deeper into the dark forest. More than one of the line of ants stopped anxiously and listened for the sound of hungry spiders. But all they heard was the call of crickets echoing through the woods like distant thunder. Dew formed on the leaves above. Without warning, huge cold drops fell on the marching ants. A firefly passed overhead for an instant, lit up the woods with a blinding flash of blue-green light. Real quick, pause. Raise your hand if you think you know where the ants are walking right now. Ainsley?
In the grass.
In the grass? Did it say the grass? Why did you say the grass? Why do you think the grass?
Because the ants are really small.
Pretty good detective thing to think. Could be right, could be wrong. Okay, here we go. Still going. At the edge of the forest stood a mountain. The ants looked up and could not see its peak. It seemed to reach right to the heavens, but they did not stop. Up the side they climbed, higher and higher. The wind whistled through the cracks of the mountain's face. The ants could feel its force bending their delicate antennae. Their legs grew weak as they struggled upward. At last, they reached a ledge and crawled through a narrow tunnel. When the ants came out of the tunnel, they found themselves in a strange world. Smells they had known all of their lives, smells of dirt and grass and rotting plants, had vanished. There was no more wind, and most puzzling of all that seemed to be the sky was gone. The sky had disappeared. They crossed smooth, shiny surfaces, then followed the scout up a glassy, curved wall. They had reached their goal. From top the wall, they looked below to a sea of crystals. One by one, the ants climbed down into a sparkling treasure. Think they found the crystals? Keep drawing if you think you know what they are. Quickly, they each chose a crystal and they turned to start the journey home. There was something about this unnatural place that made the ants nervous. In fact, they left in such a hurry that none of them noticed two small ants decided to stay behind. Why go back? Asked the other one. This place may not feel like home, but look at all these crystals. You're right, said the other. We can stay here and eat this tasty treasure forever. So the two ants ate crystal after crystal and stayed until they fell asleep. Anybody have any ideas where they think they are? Haley?
They're in a king's home.
They're in a king's home. What else? Ashley?
They might be the two bad ants.
Those two ants might be the two bad ants. Good idea. Did it say there were two bad ants? Good way to use clues. Someone besides Haley. Haley's just on it today. Addison?
I was kind of with the, like, I think it
reading, we'll find out. Ready? Daylight came. The sleeping ants were unaware of the changes taking place in their new home. A giant silver scoop hovered above them, then plunged deep into the crystals. It shoveled both ants and the crystals and carried them high in the air. The ants were wide awake when the scoop turned, dropping them from a frightening height. They tumbled through space in a shower of crystals and fell into a boiling brown lake. The giant scoop stirred violently back and forth. Crushing waves fell over the ants. They paddled hard to keep their tiny heads above water, but the scoop kept spinning the hot brown liquid. Around and around it went, creating a whirlpool that sucked the ants deeper and deeper. They both held their breath and finally bobbed to the surface, gasping for air and spitting mouthfuls of the terrible, bitter water. Then the lake tilted and began to empty into a cave. The ants could hear the rushing water and felt themselves pulled towards the pitch-black hole. Suddenly, the cave disappeared and the lake became calm. The ants swam to shore and found the lake had steep sides. Give you about 10 seconds to try to draw what you think that lake looks like. Seems like a pretty weird lake, huh? Pretty weird. Have you ever heard of a lake like that, Landon?
Nope.
Where do you think that lake's at?
Underground.
Maybe underground?
Yeah, with
It's a
the
tar pit.
Landon's talking. What else?
And they might have fallen into, they might have gotten into a bad place to sit because there might have been someone else under there and they fell down into that big pool thing and then they started, and that person just started stirring them around and then started to go in the water and they went up the shore for some reason.
How did a person stir a lake?
Probably
Just think it out loud.
Probably a bigger ant.
A bigger ant.
Or a
Graham,
dove.
Graham, what are you thinking? Landon, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna let Graham share.
Maybe it's a tar pit.
A tar pit.
like I said,
Eliza?
maybe maybe they're in somebody's house and then they drop in human's food or something.
Another good idea.
Maybe it's a really
Another good idea.
Maybe little.
I'm gonna read a couple more pages, and I want you to see. Do you really need to say it right now? All right, get it out. Go, Haley.
They're in the sewers.
Could be in the sewers.
Wow.
There's a lot of good ideas. Do we know for sure?
No.
No.
Chocolate milk.
All right. I'm gonna keep reading a couple more pages, and then we're gonna try to wrap this mystery up. So we just talked about how the lake became calm, and they found steep sides on the edge of the lake. They hurried down the walls that held back the lake. The frightened insects looked for a place to hide, worried that the giant scoop might come back. Close by, they found a huge round disc with holes that they could neatly hide in. But as soon as they had climbed inside, their hiding place was lifted, tilted, and lowered into a dark space. Dun, dun, dun. When the ants climbed out of the holes, they were surrounded by a strange red glow. It seemed to them that every second the temperature was rising. It soon became so unbearably hot that they thought they would soon be cooked. But suddenly the disc they were standing on rocketed upward, and the two ants went flying through the air.
A rocket.
Probably thinking this off.
What'd you say?
Probably thinking this off because I think they're still.
Okay, I'm giving you guys 2 minutes. When I say go, actually turn your papers over real quick and look at the front. We've read a lot, most of the story, and you should have enough, okay? write some clues on the clue line, and then on that my conclusion page, I want you to write where you think the ants are, what you think the crystals are, or where you think they're going. Just draw a conclusion. What's going on? Where are the ants at? Okay? So write some clues down that you heard, maybe about the lake being, like Landon said, like no lake he's ever heard before. Like a really weird lake, brown lake. Yeah, so write some clues that you found. Write this down, okay? Write it down and see. You got about 1 minute.
I'll show you what I think. This will burn. I'll show you.
Hey, Lou, what are you supposed to be doing right now? Brian, what are you supposed to be doing right now? You can't really be wrong in your conclusion. Detectives are wrong all the time, but that's why we need more information. And 10 more seconds to finish writing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn to your partner, your elbow buddy, and tell them what you think your conclusion is, and then switch. And 5, 4, 3, and if you hear my voice clap once, if you hear my voice clap twice, grab your clipboard out of your desk, bring your paper, come sit in front of the smartboard. Bring your paper, sit in front of the smartboard. Got about 20 seconds, move quickly. Bring your pencil too.
It must be a
Come back.
I'm curious about all the bags have all the same thing. I don't think that you feel
Get the second thing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Ooh. Ooh. Good. When someone's quiet with a hand up, I'm going to call on you and we're going to report some clues down. Ready? Eli, give me one clue you found.
crystals.
Crystals. Let's make a list here. Reese. Heat. Landon, voice is off. We're talking about clues right now. Ashley?
Stove.
A what?
Stove.
Did it talk about it? We're talking about specific things we heard that are clues. So like, I'll use, so we have crystals. We heard that there were crystals in the story. We heard that there was some heat. The heat was, when was the heat? What? When they went in that dark cave, right?
With the red light.
I'll put cave right here. Another one. Brian, what was the clue? Were you raising your hand? Okay, think of one. Ashlyn, what was the clue?
They said, it said in the story that there was something red that they were in.
It was
Something.
a red light.
It was red. The cave, right? So it was red, it was hot. Let's talk about something else, Madison.
There was a weird lake in it.
A weird lake. Weird lake? What color was the lake, Landon?
Brown.
Brown.
That's weird.
We're at brown. Just making our detective list, okay? Haley, give me another clue.
It had a strange hole like the sewers has.
Okay, so big hole. There's a big, strange hole. If you are not speaking and you don't have one of these on your list, make sure you're writing it down. We're gonna all try to get the same list, okay? Another clue. I know there were more. Another clue. Eliza?
The queen likes the crystals that the scout gave.
The queen likes the crystals. Why do you think it talked about the sky being gone? Could that be a clue at least? So where they were? No sky? No sky. What about that big thing that scooped them up? Do you think that's a clue? Addison?
A king.
Is that scoop? That'd be a piece of evidence, right?
Spoon.
Well, we don't know what it is, but we're just gonna write. It said it was a scoop. A scoop. Benny, last one.
I thought they were in a volcano.
You thought that, but was that a clue it said in the text?
That's just evidence. That's our conclusion.
So let's go back. Benny, can you just read this for me one more time? We're remembering what we're doing.
Authors don't always explain everything that happens in the story in the text. Readers can use clues to figure out what is not said.
Okay. Earlier, Haley, do you want to repeat what you said about pictures? Or what you talked about earlier? How do pictures help?
Pictures help because they have a picture that sometimes can help you see what the clue is about.
Yeah. What did I not do when I read you that story?
Showed us
I didn't show you the pictures. We're going to go back a few pages. And try not to shout anything out, but as I read and as I show you the pictures, write some of the new clues down that you see from the pictures, okay? Write some of the new clues down. I think there's going to be some aha moments. We just talked about how they went through the forest and they came to a mountain. So here's the mountain part. At the edge of the forest stood a mountain. The ants looked up and could not see its peak. It seemed to reach high into the heavens, but they did not stop. Up they went. The wind whistled through the cracks of the mountain's face. The ants could feel its force bending their delicate antennae. Their legs grew weak, but at last they reached an edge. You see some clues, write them down, okay? When the ants came out of the tunnel, they found themselves in a strange world. Smells they had known all their lives, smells of dirt and grass and rotting plants, had vanished. There was no more wind, and most puzzling of all, the sky was gone. They crossed smooth, shiny surfaces and followed the scout up a glassy, curved wall. They had reached their goal. From top of the wall, they looked below to a sea of crystals. One by one, the ants climbed into the sea of treasure. Let's add. Did we get a couple more clues? Raise your hand if you think you know one. Damien?
in a house.
I thought it was a cave system.
How do we know it was a house? What things in the picture showed us, Kimmy? What was one?
The floor was, the crystals were glass.
Crystals could have been glass. What other clues did we see in the pictures? Ashlyn?
There was a window.
Window.
Hey, that's what I wrote.
Could we explain any of these with what we heard? No sky. Can we explain that one? Why was there no sky? Graham?
It was early dawn.
I don't know if that's exactly right. Why do you think there was no sky? Is there any sky right now for us?
No. Oh yeah, there's sky up there.
Well, but if the ants came into a building the first time, Haley,
It was not the sky because it was the roof.
it was the ceiling. Probably. Could be. We'll go like that. Ceiling. Alright, let's see if we can keep reading and explain anything else. So they saw the crystals. I wonder what they're going to be. Quickly, each chose a crystal, then turned to start the journey home. There was something about this unnatural place that made the ants nervous. In fact, they left in such a hurry that none of them noticed the two small ants who stayed behind. Why go back? One asked the other. This place may not feel like home, but look at all these crystals. You're right, said the other. We're here and we could eat this tasty treasure forever.
Oh.
So the two ants ate crystal after crystal until they fell asleep.
It's sugar.
Use your detective skills, I don't know. Here we go, keep going. Daylight came and the sleeping ants started seeing some changes. Brian, Michael, answer yourself, okay? Okay, just keep writing and we'll listen, okay? Or look at the pictures. A giant silver scoop, here it is. A giant silver scoop hovered above them and plunged deep into the crystals. It shoveled up both ants and the crystals and carried them through the air. The ants were wide awake when the scoop turned, dropping them from a frightening height. They tumbled through a space in a shower of crystals and fell into a boiling brown lake.
Coffee. Coffee cup.
The giant scoop stirred violently back and forth. Crushing waves fell over the ants. They paddled hard to keep their tiny heads above water, but the scoop kept spinning the hot, brown liquid. Around and around it went, creating a whirlpool that sucked the ants deeper and deeper. They both held their breath and finally bobbed to the surface, gasping for air in the bitter water. Everyone say it at once. What was it?
Coffee!
That's why Mr. Duffy chose this book. I love coffee, you know. Alright, this is going to be the last page we read. Last page we read. Last page we read. Then the lake tilted and began to empty into a cave.
I'm guessing.
Okay, I'm not going to show you the picture yet. On your my conclusion spot, just find an empty space. Write what you think the cave is. Write what you think the cave is. On your my conclusion box on the bottom. On the my conclusion. Don't tell your other people. It's like competing detectives, you know?
Oh, I know it.
It should write it on your my conclusion box. What do you think the cave is going to be? Because all it said is it's a cave. Here we go. The ants could hear the rushing water and felt themselves pulled towards a pitch black hole. Suddenly the cave disappeared and the lake became calm. The ants swam to the shore and found the lake had steep sides. What was the cave? I'm not going to finish the book because there's still a lot more pages left. Everyone get one? Everyone get a big look at this? Alright, I say bees, you say buzz, bees.
Buzz.